Hey Stampers, Gaynor again, and I've been having a play. It's not I've done trifold cards before, but I just saw this one by a lady called, Annette, I think, Lavender Thoughts. And I like the way she did all the DSP into one. And I also saw Jan B's version, but she did the teapot and the flowers, and I'm still doing a couple of mail cards because Father's Day will be here before we know it as well. Lovely card, sits like that, folds flat to go in a normal size envelope. This measures 4 1/4 by 5 3/4. Lovely. And I'm going to add a little bit more decoration, and this was, look, boo-boos everywhere. But I've sussed it now, I think, fingers crossed. So I'm just going to show you the basis of the card, and it just uses half a sheet of DSP. This is 8 1/4 by 5 3/4, so you get 2 to each one. I'm going to use some white then to layer up. This is 7 7/8 by 5 5/8, and the DSP is slightly smaller again, and this is 7 1/2 by 5 1/2. So I'll do the cutting first, and then I'll show you how to cut the papers out to keep them intact. So I'm using my trimmer, but I'm going to change the blade, I think. I've got a fresh one, so I'll tell you what, I'm changing these every couple of days. It's driving me up the wall, actually, to tell you the truth. I haven't got lines, though, on my other trimmer, otherwise I'd do it on there. Forgive me, I'm just grabbing another pack of blades. Another pack of blades. I think this is is that the one? I think this is an old one. I had a packet with, no, it's an old one. I always keep an old one for cutting magnets, because you should never use a sharp blade for cutting magnet sheets, because it will just blunt your blade. So you might as well just use a blunt one for cutting. So again, another blunt. Look, it doesn't even look hardly used. But, hey ho, it is what it is if you want a nice card finish. Always put your protective film back on if you're going to pop it in the bin. You don't need to keep all your blunt blades. So, this piece, I'm using Balmy Blue. I'm going to use some of this Tranquil Textures and white as the backing and for the layers. Oh, right, you've got to put this in at 1 1/8, so I'm going to be using this side of the trimmer. And you want, oh, my blades just fell out. Oh, what am I like? Right, let me just pop that. There we go, it's in now. So you're going to take this from, you put it in at 1 1/8, and you're going to take this from 1 1/2, and I'm keeping this pulled up at the top because it moves. If you watch, this moves, and it can give you a bit of a bad, so I'm keeping my finger at the top, and then I'm taking it from 1 1/2 down to 6 5/8. Is that 5/8? No. There. So I'm lifting it up. I'm going to turn it 180 degrees. Put it back in at 1 1/8. Keeping hold of that track. So I'm at 6 5/8, and I'm taking it up to 1 1/2. And that's it. That's the cutting. Now we're going to put it in, and we're going to put this in at 1 1/2, and we're going to score from 1 down to 4 1/2. Got a little bit further, but I need to cut that up a bit. So just got to keep it level, that's all. Perfect. Doesn't matter about the score line just yet. And then we're going to put it in at 2.5. And again, we're going to cut this from, score this from 1 to 4.5. You basically just cut it scoring in between the score lines. On the edge, in a bit. Flip it round. I'm going to do the same again. Thank you, Mr. Boyce. You're a superstar.
Okay.
And we're going to score at 2.5, at 1 down to 4.5. And then we're going to pull it back to 1.5. And making sure you've got your score lines, your track lines in. And I'm going to score from 1 down to 4.5. Again, that one meets, this one doesn't for some reason, so I'm just going to take my scissors. I could put it back in, but for the sake of doing a little tiny nick, it's done. Now we're going to go back in with a scorer, and we're going to put this in at 4 1/8, and we're going to score either side. So up to the score line and down to the score line. And we're going to do it again at 6 1/8. Down to the score line, up to the score line. So you've got 2 on the outside, 1, 2, 3, 4 in betweens. I'm going to put this to one side just for a minute. And what you're going to do is, you're going to fold mountain, valley, mountain, valley, mountain, and then valley on the inside piece, mountain, valley, and then just push those 2 pieces over, and we're done. Just give them a good burnish. Take this round this way and just burnish the back. So there is your card. You can face it that way if you want to have it that way, and it'll fold flat that way, or you could do it that way. It's entirely up to you. It's the same way. I'm going to add a piece of card on the back as well. So that is your card base done. Those little score lines are going to get covered now with your next layer. If you do get any little blemishes, just go along with your bone folder and you can basically get rid of those lines if you want. Just rub them back out. Don't know what that is. There we go. Just smooth those lines back out. Perfect. Lovely. Now it looks lovely. And that's the way our card's going to sit. So when you measure that now, it's 4 1/4 by 5 3/4. So that's one of the easiest bits over. So now we're going to pop that to one side. We're going to fetch our trimmer back. And what we're going to do with the white, we're going to put it in at 1 3/8. And we're going to take our blade. 1 3/8. And we're going to cut from 1, push that up, down to 4 1/2. We're going to flip it round and do the same again. 1 3/8. And keeping that up there. So 4 1/2 up to 1. Perfect. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put this in at 1 inch, and we're going to take this down to where is it? We're going to put this in 1 3/8, and we're going to cut down to 6 3/8. Basically wanting to join those lines. So again, if you're not quite there, just take your scissors and give it a little snip up. Oops. You can keep messing around on the trimmer, but it won't do you any favours. You might cut in the wrong place. So back in at this side, 180 degrees, back in at this side at 1 and just lift that up. 1 3/8. Keeping that up the top. 1 3/8, and you're going to cut down to 6 3/8. Tiny little bit out there. That bit perfect. So don't worry about that. I'm going to snip this now. And you're going to remove this. You can save this piece because you're going to need another bit. In fact, while we're here, I'm going to cut this down to 3 1/8 by 3, because you're going to need that. You can save those bits for other things. So we're going to need that section as well. In fact, we'll need 2 of those, one for the front, one for the back. You're going to pop this in now at 4 inches. And you're going to keep these pieces of paper as still as possible and cut right through. Now, this is going to layer on here perfectly. Look at that. All one piece. So to get those pieces, you need to put this in at 1 7/8. Just move my card before I slice it up. 1 7/8, press down and cut. And then you've got your back piece here. That fits perfectly. And these 2 pieces that fit here perfectly. Isn't that great? Love it. And now this piece. And now we're going to do exactly the same, but in different positions with our DSP. Your DSP you need to have at 7.5 by 5.5, and we're going to put this in at 7/8 of an inch, and we're going to start at 6 1/4, and I'm pushing that bar up to keep it in. So 6 1/4, and we're going to take this up to 1 1/4. Take it out, turn it round. Just, where's my bone folder? Just felt a little nick there. I'm just pushing it straight. And again, 7/8 of an inch. Making sure the bar is as up as far as it'll go. From 1 1/4 down to 6 1/4. And then lift that up. What we're going to do now, we're going to put this in at 1 1/4, which is the very last line on this side. And we're going to take this from 7/8 of an inch to 4 5/8. So I'm going to start at 4 5/8 and take that up to 7/8 of an inch. I felt that cut through perfectly, and we're going to do the same on this side. So push that in, 7/8 to 4 5/8, and there you go, perfect. Now you can save this for another card. Look at that, perfection. So again, we're going to put this in at, I think it's 3 7/8 on this one. Let me just check, because that was 4. And this one needs, oops, let me just line that up with that. We'll get that right in a minute when we stick it down. Perfect. Just want that right there. That's on 4. Yeah, this is 3 7/8. And, oops. Making sure your paper's tucked up tight. Press down so your paper doesn't move, and just cut that up. And we can measure that now, just to be on the safe side. There it is. Perfection. So it's 3 7/8. It does fit. It will line up. Perfect. And then again at 1 7/8, I'm taking the blade down. Make sure it's pushed up tight and that you're holding onto them. And again, there's the pieces. Now because they were slightly smaller. Oops, no, they need to be 1 3/4. Sorry, just doesn't matter about that little bit on the other bit. So it's 1 3/4, not 1 7/8. So 1 3/4. See how that moved then? Oh, see, now my trim is terrible. So 1 3/4. Perfect matting for those pieces. And then this one should fit on here beautifully. Perfect, near enough. Lovely. Just a tiny touch out there, but you won't see it. So you can use this on a different card, or you could layer it up at 3 3/8. By 3 1/8. And then this, like this, if you cut 2 of those, you would put those together, just like that. And then this would layer up on the back of your card for you to write a message to whomever you were giving it to. So that would be your back piece. Isn't that gorgeous? Love it, love it, love it. So I need another one of those. I'm just going to grab some scrap out of my bin. And we're cutting it at 3 1/8 by 3. And I've got spares for another card. So there are all our pieces. And this is all we've got, which we can go back in our envelope and use on a different card. Perfection. So now it's just about a matter of layering these up now. So let's get the glue out. And I'm going to add that on the back, because I think it goes well with the stuff on the front, carrying it right through. This is only for where you're going to write your message. Nice little border all the way around. And then the same with the white. You could stamp something on this or just leave it blank to write your to and from. Whoops. But you've got those pieces out of your designer series paper and the back of your white cardstock. So there's the back of your card. And now we can concentrate. We do need a piece of contrasting card stock for there. What am I going to use for that? Let's have a look. I don't want to use the same balmy blue. And I'm thinking, what's the other colour in there? There's a little bit of... I'm going to have a look, see what that is actually. Because I've got my designer series paper. Oh, there's no back. Easily solved. DSP. it's the Balmy Blue Crumb Cake, Fresh Fig, Mint Macaron, Night of Navy, Soft Sea Foam, Tranquil Twilight and Whisper White. I'm sure I've got some of that card in my scraps bin somewhere. Mint Macaron. Did I say Mint Macaron? I'm sure I've got some soft sea foam somewhere. Ooh, I tell you what, did I see my Mint Macaron? Oh, I'm just going to have another quick nose. Fresh Fig, Night of Navy. Yes, Mint Macaron it is. So I'm going to use a piece of that as my contrasting border piece. So I'm not wasting any more card. So I want this, and I'm using the Geared Up Garage again. 3 3/8 by 3 1/8. And we've got all our pieces now. So my Whisper White will be layered on here. That doesn't seem right, does it? Or have I cut that wrong? It's a little bit out. You'd be surprised just how much that little fraction can knock your cardstock out. That's better. Yay. I'm going to be cutting out the gears for the card like I have done on the other one. Perfect. Just going to give that a rub. Don't know why that's out. And this is going to be adhered into here. Small border syndrome I call this, because I love small borders. Perfect, absolutely perfect. Let's give that a good rub. Oh, and what else I want, you know that piece of scrap, we put it back. I might, oh, it's not very good, the contrast. So what I'm going to do, I have got here some of the bubbles, and I'm going to put little tabs down there, so 3 3/8, and I want these at 7/8. Perfect. They can go away now. So I could either leave them that way, or I could leave them that way. I think I may have cut these a bit too small. I think I have. That's an inch gap, so they are definitely not 7/8. No, they're not. Oh, crumbs, Gaynor, what are you doing? Right, let's do this again. Right. Definitely. Whoops, bashing everything about here, girls. So that's the one. I did it on that one, and it needs to be this one. That's more like it. That is about right. And I just need to take a little notch off there. 3 3/8. It is, or it says it is. Tiny little fractions. And they're going to be my contrast. Should I keep them that way? Or should we have the bubbles? No, I'm going to keep the blue. Perfect. You don't have to put anything down there if you don't want to, but I like it, so I thought I'd do it. If you're going to have DSP everywhere, why not put it down the 2 strips that need it as well. Perfect. Lovely. So now we can attach our white pieces. Beautiful. So layer that up. Nice border all the way round. Your small little pieces as well. Beautiful. And then our DSP can go over the top. Only because I've got it in my hand. Nice little border. Nice little border there. Our short piece can go in the back as well. Whoops. I'm going to face this way. That's not too bad. And then this piece. Just helps keep all the DSP instead of having a lump, strip down there and a strip. This is going on. I need to pull that up a little bit. Oops. That side. A little bit close to that edge. Let me just lift that up again. So, tiny border here. That's better. That's got it. Look at that. Lovely. Just get that rubbed down. And the DSP. Why does the DSP want to sit funny when you've got all the measurements just right? Or you... It just could be that my trimmer's playing silly beggars, because it does move. It does move, and it does really do me head in sometimes. Because I know, or I think I'm cutting everything perfectly. See what I mean? I'm just going to... There we go. I'm going to move that over. But that is perfect. So that is how your card is going to lay. Isn't that beautiful? And sits up gorgeously. Love that. So I was gifted some metallic sheets, and now this is dull metallic, and I love it. So I'm going to cut out these gears. And I'm even going to have maybe the watering can and this grill sign. I wouldn't think I'd get the car on. Do you actually reckon? Should we have a look? Would we get the car on? Oh, we might, you know, because we just don't stick the back bit down. Ooh, so we're going to pull out just a... I'm just going to have metallic elements all the way around the outside. So I'm going to add a speech bubble. And I'm just going to run those through the Big Shot. And a couple more gears. Love it. Just to add all those cog elements around the outside. Perfect. I shall be back in 2 seconds. Sorry about the loud noise on the machine, but it'll be worth it, trust me. Just going to add my plate and run it through. Oops, I've got some bits all over the place. Where did that go? Oh, I found it. So there are all my bits. There's that speech bubble. There's the grill. Lovely. There's the car. The oil can. We've got these lovely little cogs. We can poke them out in a minute. There's the gears. Let's pop these back in as we're going along. She says, throwing them on the floor. That one's empty. That one is. This one has got the grill on the inside. Pokey tool. Wow, look at that, it's brilliant. Love it. Poke out some more of our gears. And I'm keeping the circles because we can add them to other cards. Perfect. Love it. Gonna just stick those all back in. There's that piece. This will just pop straight out after I poke out the circles, which I'm going to keep for other cards and decorations. Just the circles. And then get rid of the other bits I don't need. I've got another cog there. Love these. I'm just going to scatter them all around and I'll make it look grungy and metallic. So poke out the bits you don't need. And then poke out the bits you do. Love it. And then this big one. This will just pop out of here so easy. So I'm keeping my circles. They will go for decorations. You've seen me use them on other cards. There's one. And there's one there. The rest I can just discard in here. Takes seconds to get rid of those. poking them out quickly. There's a tiny little bit in there, and there we have that. And there are all our pieces. Oh my gosh. There's one more thing I do want to cut out later, and that is my Happy Father's Day. So let's get decorating these beautiful parts around our card. So I'm going to lay it flat for now. Oh, I just spotted another piece. There we go. And, oops, this is so easy to stick down. I'm just basically adding dots on there. It's just so simple. A little bit around the centre. Dots here around the centre. On the outer cogs. Around the centre. Around the centre. Just dashing some dots here, then everywhere. And around there. Perfect. And then I'm just going to layer this up. Now, I had it a different way on the other one, but as long as I don't go over any of the score lines, I am fine. So I've got my Swiffer cloth just to help me press it into place. Just so that glue sticks down. Perfect. Love this. Love it, love it, love it. I'm going to have my beautiful car. I'm not going to add dimensionals. Whoops, she says. Oh gosh. I've got a little bit of glue on there, but watch what I can do with that in a moment. This is going along the bottom here. I'm just going to use my finger because I remember adding just a touch at the back. And I'm just having that there. Oh, look at that, it's not touching there at all. And the Swiffer cloth will just buff that off. Look how cool that is. Everything is just going to have these metallic tones all over them. This one's going on here. The wider ones will go on the wider parts of the strips. Oh my gosh, I keep knocking that off. Perfect. Now there is a speech bubble in here that says best dad. I reckon if I was to cut that out with that same piece, it was, well, it will, I know it will, it'll slot in there beautiful. But we'll come to that as we get to it. We have got, in fact there is the centre of that speech bubble, but I'm going to put that back in. Just I think it's dead nice, dead grungy looking as well. Now there's another speech bubble there. I'm going to pop that there in the corner. If you want, you could add, you could cut them out again in white after you stamped it, and then you could fussy cut it so you can get the metal all the way around the outside. Entirely up to you. We've got our can, oil can. It's coming down here. I think this is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I'm going to save a couple of those cogs for the back of the card. This one's going here. Again, just using my cloth and buffering up any marks that are on there or happen to be on there. Just beautiful. Oh, this is fabulous. Oh, I'm having no luck with this glue tonight. It's trying to get away from me, I think. It's telling me that it's running out and it's getting top heavy now. So we're going to have a gear on there. We're going to have a gear on the top there. Perfect. Oh, we're loving it. I'm going to have one down here. Fabulous. Just from one little sheet of silver foil that was gifted. Just going to add some little... it will dry clear, so don't worry about that. That is absolutely fabulous. Look at that gorgeous card. Those elements, so cute. Right, on the back, I may just add two. I'm going to pop one in this corner. And I'm going to have this one in this corner. Perfect. So that's the back. Isn't that cute? I'm going to pop this one here as well, just to fill that gap. Just there. Love it. So, I'm going to pop the lid on there. I'm going to be needing this piece out. Just for a second. And I'm going to grab some more Whisper White. Well, white. I'm going to do one more bit of stamping. And one more bit of die cutting. And our card is good to go. Look at that. Love it. So, just bear with me 2 seconds. I'm just going to run that through my Gemini and I will be back in a flash. Having a cheeky little swig of my coffee while that's running through the machine. We'll pop that out. And I'm going to pop that back in there. I might. It's going back in there. I'm going to grab some dimensionals. And I'm going to lay that, like I did on this one, I'm going to pop it in this corner this time, over there. Perfect. And what I did, I used my Balmy Blue in the dark, used the little nib end, and then what I did, I just went over the letters. Just add a bit more to it. do this one upside down. I'm going to leave the dark. No, it was pale on that card, that's why I left it like that. So just a couple more things now and then we are done. I'm going to go back to those dots. Just scoop a few out. See, 5. I'm going to grab a little bit of glue. And I'm going to dot 1, 2 there, 1, 2, 3 there. Pokey tool, just going to touch the glue, and then I'm going to pick these up. Turn them over, and then I'm going to place them in there. Just add those in their spots. And there we have it. That is it done now. I think that is absolutely fabulous. I mean, this one looks pretty with the bubbles and stuff. There's no elements on there, but it still looks cute. But this one, with all that metallic going on, I think that is really jazzy and perfect. Look, don't waste those dots. Use them for decoration. So there is the card I did earlier. This is the one I've just done now. They do fit in a normal size envelope and they do stand up beautifully. So I'm going to stand that one up and just show you that one. So there we have it. There is my trifold card with the Geared Up Garage. Again, loving this set. And this is a set I said I wasn't going to buy, but trust me, I'm loving it. So there we go. I'd love a thumbs up and a share. That'd be amazing. You can also press the subscribe button if you haven't already. And if you want to see what I make tomorrow, don't forget to press the little bell. That will notify you of all future videos. And I do my best to try and post every single day. So if you want to see what I make tomorrow, press the 2 buttons and I'll see you on the other side. Thanks for watching. Bye.